Hi guys, welcome back. It is a brand new month, so naturally, we need to overestimate how many books I can read in 30 days. Now I've got some big dreams, okay? But are we gonna read every single one of these books? Guys, come on, it's me. Let's go through my April TBR and discuss the 6 books I want to read. It includes sci-fi, dark academia, existential crises, existential, and good old-fashioned butter. That will make sense later. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's talk about some books. Now, naturally, you probably already know, but we have to start off strong with Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. If you guys have been here for the last 2 months or so, you already know. Pierce Brown, me. I am at that man's mercy. I cannot put these books down. I could not put these books down. If it was to save my life, I couldn't put these down. They're so good. It's literally, quite literally, I'm not being dramatic, maybe a little bit, but quite literally the best series I have ever read in my life. It's like if Shakespeare, Game of Thrones, and maybe like Star Wars had a little something, a little menage a trois, you know what I'm trying to say? It would be this series. That's how good it is. So you think I'm gonna just stop with the original trilogy? Come on now. Come on now. Absolutely not. There are 3 more books and I need to be there for it. Because the first 3 books we already finished, and that original trilogy ended perfectly. Now, Morningstar, if you guys remember from my last bookstore vlog, this man is a wanted man. Literally had me. Do you remember the picture of Kobe when he won the championship or whatever? He's sitting in the locker room and his head's just down. That book had me like that. It was soul crushing, adrenaline fueled chaos, and I ate it up. But then it ended really well, so I'm like, okay, I'm good with this. However, I do hear that the next 3 books is supposed to be 10 years into the future. So political chaos is still thriving. The war is not over. Darrow is still dealing with stuff. And apparently there are a bunch of new characters that you either love or you hate. There's no in between. That's what I hear. So naturally, I need to be there for the tea. I need to be there for the chaos because I need to know what Darrow is going through. He's already been through so much. Why can't this man have peace? I need to find out. So naturally, I'm gonna just let this book series continue to ruin my life just a little bit. Now, switching gears a little bit for the second book, but staying in the realm of books that will traumatize me, I need to read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Now, if you guys have been here for a second, you know she wrote the Six of Crows duology, and that is the best thing I've ever read. Now, I know I just said that about Red Rising. Shut up. Shut up. They're both my kids. I love them dearly. I cannot choose. Fight me. It's not like Six of Crows just because it does have that supernatural element, apparently, I don't know. It's more like a dark academia vibe. So there's themes of elitism, morally gray characters, and like power struggles. So I heard that and I was like, yeah, sign me up. And apparently it's like The Secret History, but with supernatural elements, and that sounds amazing. I'm super excited. Now, I didn't read The Secret History, but I heard really great things about it, and I love that genre. I love that kind of vibe in a book, so I'm really excited for this. Now, the story follows a young girl named Alex who has a very messy past. She is just not doing well in life currently, and in the midst of one of her lowest moments, somehow, miraculously, she gets recruited into one of Yale's ultra-secretive magical societies. And by magic, I mean dark rituals, ghosts, and maybe some psychological torment. I don't know. I'm telling you what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this, so I'm telling you. I don't know. We're gonna find out together. And these societies apparently like run the world in the shadows. And to be honest, that feels like how real life is. So I'm excited to read it. And not only that, this author, Leigh Bardugo, writes so good. Like, oh my gosh, the way that she can explain her feelings and human feelings and put them together, it's crazy. It's so crazy. So naturally, I told y'all I would read anything else she writes. So that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping my word. Okay? I'm keeping my word. I just really like this sweater. Y'all see? It's a new sweater I just got. But anyway, I'm so excited for this. And I do believe it is a series. So naturally, if we like this first book, obviously we're going to have to read the other ones. And this came out after Six of Crows. So she can only get better from Six of Crows. If I already think that Six of Crows is the best thing she's ever written, and then she writes this, it's only gonna get better. So obviously I'm super excited for this one. Outside of me literally being obsessed with this woman, I hear that the vibes of like rich people playing at forces that they shouldn't be is really high here. And I'm excited to get into that. And not only that, I do hear that this book is like low-key brutal. Outside of it being spooky and creepy and eerie and giving like those fall dark academia vibes, apparently it's also very disturbing. So I might regret reading it at night, but is it gonna stop me? No. Now, while we're on this little April TBR train, I'm gonna take a little existential detour because I am finally reading The Stranger by Albert Camus. Because who doesn't need a literary crisis era? And I feel like because we're reading one classic every single month so far, it's really giving thought, daughter, and I'm here for it. I'm loving this vibe. Now, like The Bell Jar, which we just read last month, this book is a classic on existentialism as well as absurdism. And if you don't know what those two things mean, congratulations, you're emotionally stable. But basically, it follows this guy who is completely coasting through life in the most emotionally detached way possible. He is just simply not there. He is going through the motions of life without really ever living it. When pivotal, life-altering events happen to him, he simply does not care, including when he gets accused of literal murder. He is just simply like, nothing matters. I don't care. This means nothing to me. When his life is literally on the line for a murder he's accused of. But honestly, I am really excited for this just because I'm really liking that we're adding a classic every single month because it's making me think outside of myself. It's making me think in ways that I don't naturally do so. And it makes me very curious about other things that I feel like we sometimes shield ourselves away from. So I'm very excited for this one. And based on the descriptions that I've heard of this book, it really does remind me of The Bell Jar. And going into The Bell Jar, I didn't think that I was gonna like it, but I ended up really enjoying the book, even though it was extremely disturbing, just because it made me think in a new way. And it made me like really take a second and maybe like stare at the ceiling for a little bit and really consider what the meaning of life is, why we do what we do, what life's purpose is and your own purpose and all of those things. And I love books that are going to make me think in that way, and this definitely sounds like it. But we're going to do a complete 180 now because the next book is Butter. This book is about food, obsession, and maybe possibly a murderous female chef. So naturally I'm in. And I don't know why, but I feel like the cover is so cool. Hold on. Look at that. She is not playing around. And apparently this story is inspired by a real Japanese case where a woman was accused of murdering wealthy men by cooking for them.
Damn.
Talk about female rage. Now, if that's not the craziest premise for a book ever, I don't know what is. But in this book, instead of looking at it from the perspective of this murderous chef, we're actually looking at it through the lens of a journalist investigating this woman who is luring these men to their death with her decadent cooking. And though this sounds unhinged, I am not gonna lie, I am very excited about this one because apparently it dives deep into the themes of femininity, power, and the way that society views indulgence, especially when it comes to women. Plus, I heard that the descriptions of food in this book is really incredible. And there's something about books and like anime that if they can explain or show the beauty in food really well, it captivates me for some reason. I don't know if you've ever looked at like anime food that's done well, like in the Studio Ghibli movies. There's something about it. It's just so beautiful. And I love when books can do that too. And apparently she does a really good job. So I'm very excited about this one. Now with book number 5, I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea how I got here. I don't know how I've been hooked by this BookTok situation, yet here I am. As you guys know, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. No, I can't say it. As you guys know, last month I read, what was it called? Butcher and Blackbird. And for some reason, hearing about murderers, psychopaths, falling in love really did something for me. Wow. I don't know what that says about me, and I don't really want to know. But here we are, because now this month, something in my little black heart wants me to read the second book in the series. I don't know. I'm just as confused as you are. Now, if you guys remember in Butcher and Blackbird, we followed Sloane and Rowan's love story. Rowan has 2 other brothers, Lachlan and Fionn. That's his younger brother. But instead of following Sloane and Rowan again in this second book, this time we're following Sloane's best friend Lark and Rowan's brother Lachlan. And though the spice in the first book made me blush and made me feel like I needed to repent for something, here we are nonetheless. I haven't fully unpacked my desire to read this. I feel like this is something I need to speak to my therapist about. So we're not really going to go into the details of this. Just know that Lachlan is like his brother Rowan, and he does like the whole murder situation as well. And I saw that and I was like, add to cart. Yeah, so we're not going to think about this one too much. We're just going to move on to the next book. But to be fair, let me just put this out for my own case. I listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook was so good. There were 2 actors, one for the guy Rowan and one for Sloane. Let me tell you something. I don't know how they did that reading without blushing. I don't know if they were in the same room. I don't know. Because I saw this video on Instagram, right? And it was about these two people who were doing the readings for like books. And when they get to spicy scenes, tell me why they were in the same room. I could never, because I would be asking, what are we? I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. But I'm telling you this because the chemistry those two actors had, you couldn't tell me they weren't actually dating. You couldn't tell me. No, I was so invested in their fake love life. Let me tell you something. I was so invested in their fake love life. I didn't even know I was reading a book. I didn't even know. So I have to let you know that information before you go judging me about reading about serial killers. You can't judge me. You can't. Listen to the audiobook and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. And if it brings that energy from Butcher and Blackbird, again, I finished that in one day. I'm sorry. And if it has that same energy, I'll be reading the third book. Yeah. Last but not least, a book that is not going to threaten my chances at getting into the pearly gates is The Candy House by Jennifer Egan. Now, this book focuses on technology, memory, and the unsettling idea of uploading your entire consciousness into a digital world. So basically, it's the book version of the show Black Mirror. Now, I love that show. The first few seasons were pure gold. It got kind of weird when Miley Cyrus entered it and it was just like a bad season. But besides that, the rest of the show is literal perfection. And apparently, this book has that exact vibe. And apparently, it explores in detail a future where a tech mogul figures out a way to externalize people's memories, which I'm not gonna lie, sounds really cool, but like in a very terrifying, oh my god, this is insane kind of way. Like, do I really want to remember every single embarrassing thing I did? And not only that, what would that do with like criminal cases? If you could actually remember what happened, if people are lying in cases and then they can look at their memory and see if that's actually what happened, like it changes every single thread of society. So I'm really interested to see in this book, how deep do they go? How deep do they follow the ripples of such a crazy change in the future? And will these differences in how we live now to what it would look like in the future, if this is something that did happen, if it's realistic, if it's something that is thought-provoking, or is it a cautionary tale? I don't know. I want to know all of these things. I'm not gonna lie though, I do really love books that make you question the fabrics of society, because it's like, we can't really change how technology is continuing to grow, the trajectory of technology. It's beyond us at this point. We already have AI, we already have all of these weird, scary things. But at least if there are books like this, if there are shows like Black Mirror that exist, it at least gives us pause to think about the ethics of the future that we're heading towards. And I know that it's not necessarily gonna help everything stop, but it might slow down certain things. It might allow us to think about the ethics and how it will affect future generations. And maybe instead of building those drones and those AI people or whatever, maybe we take a second and think about how that would truly affect humans as a whole, the world as a whole. And I know that sounds very optimistic and these tech companies do not care, but I'm just happy that we do have these cautionary tales, because at least we as the consumer, we as the people who are experiencing the world as it is, we can at least be a little bit more conscious, a little bit more cautious before we buy into these companies. And then if they don't have those consumers to sell their products, it might slow down technology just a little bit. But I'm going to stop yapping your ears off. That is my official April TBR. Now again, will we get to every single one of these books? I don't know. I didn't even tell you guys what my April book club book is. So that's 7 books that I'm possibly reading in the month of April. So again, I don't know if it's going to be that likely, but every single one of these books sounds so good and I genuinely want to get to every single one of them. So wish me luck. I'm going to hope for the best. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books already, if you think that they're good, if there's any books that you're excited to read for in April. And as always, please continue to like and subscribe. I love you guys so much and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.